and welcome to Influence Women's Empowerment. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I am on this journey of being empowered, and I want you to join me as we grow together, because as long as you have breath, that means that you have so much to give to the world. And in order to give, you got to fill your cup up first so that you can be so empowered that you want to be in an overflow that you can share. And so today, let's talk about how do you know that you are in a codependent relationship. There's 5 things. There's so many other things, but the 5 key things is, I have a little note here, so if you see me looking up, don't feel any way, because I don't want to forget anything, because it's so vital. A lot of people are in relationships for several reasons, but above all, a lot of people just want to be loved. You want to feel love. You want to just know what love is. But sometimes you question, you're like, is this really what it is supposed to be? So let's see about codependency. Is one of something that most people don't realize, that they're in a codependent relationship. And so it involves you just being an unhealthy reliance on one person to be your whole world, to make you happy, to validate you, to support you, to make you feel like this person is my whole well-being. But on the flip side, it can be imbalance, because one person is not supposed to be your whole world. You are an individual. God created you unique. There's nobody on this whole world like you. In this whole world, billions of people. And you are unique. Nobody's like you. You're here for a purpose and a plan. And it's a beautiful thing to have a relationship, don't get me wrong, and to just feel happy that you have a good person. But you need to know that you're not just here to serve a person. Because what happens if that person, God forbids, pass away? That's how you get some people who have nervous breakdowns, and they don't want to live because they made this person their whole world. And there's nothing wrong with allowing that piece of the I call it this circle, right? Just visualize as a circle. And you have, there's you, right? You're the circle. And you have your spiritual. You have your physical, because you got to eat right in order to stay healthy so you can enjoy life, right? So, and then you have the spiritual part, what I said in the beginning, to fill you up, because that's the ultimate, right? Because without the spiritual, you can look for people and places and things to fill you up, which is temporary, right? But those people are important, and those things are important, and it's good to have, but to know that they're not sustainable, right? So that you, the spiritual, you have the what did I say? The physical. Then you have the emotional piece, where you need to keep balance, because sometimes that's one of the hardest things, especially for women, because we have so much chemicals and so much stuff happening in our bodies, to stay balanced, right? So, but because when you're off balance in the emotional, and you allow things to affect you, people, places, things, again, we talked about that before, you can become unstable, right? Especially if you're a codependent person, and you depending on that person to make you happy, and today they're like, they're mood swinging, and it could set you off. So that's why it's very important to be stable spiritually, physically, emotionally, making sure your mental health, checking in on your own mental health, and especially financially, right? And socially, having good social boundaries, which it comprises of many things that I'm not going into today, because I'm going off on another tangent. But I just wanted to let you see that how important it is not to be codependent, to see the red flags immediately. So I have 5 things. Your needs and desires are constantly ignored and suppressed. So when you're in a codependent relationship, and that person is, and you're the person who is being sucked on, because they're depending on you to make them happy. But what about you, your needs? And you tell them, well, I really want this in a relationship. I really want this. I really want to go someplace. I really want to do this. I really want this in this relationship so that I can be fulfilled. And you're not getting it. That's a problem, right? So in a codependent relationship, one partner may consistently put their needs, wants, and desires second to the other person. If you find yourself constantly neglecting your own emotional, physical, and mental needs in favor of your partners, this could be a sign of codependency, right? So two people are supposed to come together. You come together and you're filling each other's cup. That's the best thing. One person, which is you, should not be always filling that person's cup. Well, I have my tea here, right? So you shouldn't always be pouring into a person. Two people supposed to be pouring into each other, which makes the scale balance and love so beautiful. But if one person, that's you, keeps just pouring and pouring and pouring into this person's cup, and you're just living for that person, and that's all you're doing, and this is you withering away because you're human and God created you with needs. Just like this person has needs, this person in the cup, and you realized it and you studied it and you're like, oh, I know what she wants. I know she wants this. I know she wants that. I know she wants this. Oh, I know he wants this. He wants this. He wants that. And you just keep pouring and you just giving and giving it. And this is you. And you're like, what? You know? So that's one of the signs. You feel responsible for your partner's happiness, especially if that partner cup is empty and they're not feeling it. They're depending on you to fill it. That's the worst. So codependents often believe that they are responsible for fixing their partner's problems or ensuring their partner is happy. If you find yourself constantly trying to make your partner feel better or carry the weight of their emotions as if you are responsible, that's another unhealthy thing. And that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Too much work. Because what about you? What about you? Normally, some people who are doing this are hero children. They were the ones who was always trying to fix the relationship with mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, whoever was raising you. Maybe you were the one who was like jumping in as a child to be like, no, let's do this. Let's make things happy. And then the brain, you see how powerful the brain is? It's like when you meet somebody, you continue the cycle from your childhood or adolescence or wherever. That's trauma. And you just find somebody else to continue it. But I want you to break it. So I wanted you to be aware of it. That person should do the same for you. Make you happy. You know, do things, meet your needs. The same way how you doing to that person. You just keep filling this person's cup. You feel like you're responsible. Oh, come here. You're not feeling well today. Come here, let me do this. So when you're not feeling well, are they doing the same? Let's think about that. I want you to think about it. Are they making you feel better? Or you have to keep telling them, no, I need this in a relationship. I need this. I need this. I need this. Are they doing it? I just want you to think. Or they just do a little bit to pacify you so you can shut your mouth. And then they go back to their old ways. You have difficulty setting boundaries. If in a codependent relationship, one or both partners might struggle with setting or respecting boundaries. If you feel guilty or anxious about assessing or asserting, you see it, you're like, I wanna go someplace. I wanna be free. I wanna do my own thing. But you're feeling bad. You're feeling guilty. You don't allow the other person to sit by themselves because you feel like, if I get my own space, they might feel sad. They may feel bad. They may feel like, what are you doing? Where are you going without me? Why are you, that's not healthy. You need, and they need to feel at peace while you guys are away from each other. You don't have to be like Mickey and Minnie Mouse, Bonnie and Clyde. No. You are an individual, and this person's an individual, and you come together to become one, but you still have your own personality. And if you see yourself forfeiting your own needs and your own personality, who you are, or who you know that God created you to be, just to fill a person's cup all the days of your life. We need to talk. Coming down, you feel trapped or anxious about losing that relationship. Codependent individuals often have intense fear of abandonment, and they feel desperate to keep relationships going at all costs. If you find yourself doing that, maybe it's a codependent relationship. You need to do some self-evaluation, right? So you want to figure it out, like, do I feel anxious? Do I feel trapped? You feel trapped? I want you to think about it. So I'm pausing in between because I want you to think. Because I know you, whether you're a man or woman, your emotions are feeding into your cells, is going to the brain, is giving you red flags here now and then that we tend to avoid. But are you feeling anxious? You feel like you're going to lose that person? If you lose that person, you feel like, what's going to become of me? What's going to become of my world? You're going to keep living. You live. Trust me when I tell you. So, your identity is tied in that relationship. I just said it. You tied up to that person. In a codependent relationship, you lose sight of who you are outside of the relationship. And I know so many people like this. Like, you're more than just that person to make this fill a cup of a human being. You're more than that. You're more than that. Trust me when I tell you. And don't feel anxious and don't feel trapped if you decide that you want to do something different. They're going to live. They were living before they met you. And if God forbid if something happens to you, they're going to live. They might find somebody else to fill the void because they just can't stand not being alone. But that's not you. Because today, you are going to do better. You're going to do better. So I want to finish the sentence. If your sense of self-worth and identity depends heavily on that person's approval, or you feel incomplete or insecure when you're not with them, this can be a sign of codependency. So if you're recognizing some of these 5 signs that I just gave you, I want you to sit back and think. I don't want you to just be like, okay, I think that's me, or that's me, let me. No, I want you to rewind the video and think. And I'm going to come back to you with part 2 on what you need to do. I don't want to be bombarding you about, putting all this stuff on top of you. And then you're like, okay, I want you to think if this is you. And the good thing about it is that there is still help. Whether you've been in that relationship for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60, 1 year or a month, you can still heal. And I want to come back to you with part 2 on how you can heal, what you can do, and if you choose to stay in a relationship, how you can start to live again and become this authentic you that God created you to be. Out of all the billions of people in this world, you are unique and you deserve it. You deserve it. I love this song. There's a gospel song that says, you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. I am MJ. Stay tuned for part 2 on codependency.